In this video we'll show you how we can machine the phone handset that we've just created the file for. Okay, so this is the model. When you create a model, the default color is black for it to be created, and if you want to change the color of it at any time, if you click on extruded solid and then come down to here, then you can choose a different color. Okay, makes it a little bit easier on the eye. Okay, so we need to create the sketches which will be used for the pocketing command. So if we right click and say stop drawing, because we were drawing rectangles previously, and now I'm going to right click and pick faces, so that's the face. So if I right click and say make a sketch from the face, so that's created a sketch which has got two profiles and I only want the inside one. So if I right click the sketch and say split, then I get two sketches, one for the inside and one for the outside. So I'm going to be using sketch 4, so I can go into milling. I want a pocket command, so I need to check the units that I'm working in. So if I just cancel that and then just go into here. Okay, so I am working in millimeters, that's good. Right, so we go a pocket command and we'll have a step over of say 3 millimeters, material allowance 0. I'll start from the center. I won't use zigzag mode, so it will follow the outside shape. I'm going to use a 10mm ball nose cutter, and I have not selected a surface, so I'll need to do that. So just bear with me, I'll just cancel that, select a surface, which is there. Okay, so that's the one I want to create the surface of. So I've now got a surface which I can use on the pocketing command. Step over of 3 millimeters, material allowance of 0. What you'll find is when you're entering any of these values in here, it remembers them from the last one that you used, which can sometimes be fine, but other times you might need to change them all. Feed change plane is 3, final depth minus 25. I won't use a step down for the time being, and I'll use the sketch, and if I can't remember the sketch, then that's the one I want to use. Press enter. Okay, so let that go away and calculate the pocket. So when you're calculating pockets and things, the best thing to do is to just use a small, a larger overlap and a 0 for the step down until you're happy that the pocketing command is producing what you want. Now you may have noticed that on the sides of this pocket there's some slight interference between the actual shape and the toolpath. So this can happen when it's calculating the toolpath based on the triangulation method used. So if you need to modify that, if you go into here and enter normally a very small allowance, then that should overcome that problem. We might have to change this. Okay, so you can see that that's got a lot better. If we make it a bit larger even, that should eliminate that entirely. There we are. Okay, so we've got the basic parameters set there, so the next thing to do would be just to go back and put in a step down that we wanted. So let's have say 5 millimeters, as this is a roughing pass. So depending on the speed of your PC and the amount of memory that you've got will determine the speed of calculation here. Okay, so that's calculated that toolpath, and now we could use the profile command to produce a finishing toolpath on there. So what we can do is, another method of creating the toolpath is to highlight the sketch, right click and say create a profile operation on that sketch. So we're going inside, we're climb milling, the roll radius is the, if we need to bring on the tool in a particular way. We can set this as doing a finishing pass and a semi-finishing pass. Select the tool, select the surface you want to work on. Now in some cases, if you're using a tool that has the same radius at the bottom, we don't need to get it to consider the surface because we know that it's going to machine exactly where we want it to, using the ball nose of the tool we're using. So in this case I'd need to set that to a 6mm ball nose to represent the 3mm radius that we put on in the previous video. Okay, so that's done that, and then we can just simply simulate that file. Okay, it hasn't been saved away, so it asks me to save it. So I'll call it Phone 2. So that's saving the project away and then passing the data through to the simulator. Okay, simulate the toolpath. So there's two main ways of viewing the toolpath. We can either have the material of the workpiece focus here, or we can have the machine focus, so you can switch on whichever one of those you like. The video controls at the top here, just a simple slider bar for the speed of animation, and a simple run command here. Okay, so that's that shape machined with the roughing and finishing passes. To close the simulator, we choose the button in the top right, exit the simulator, and then we're back into the 3D cam, and we can either modify the toolpath or close it down and start a new job.